Hey, what is up, guys? I'm so glad to be back. We're so back. Welcome to the first official episode of The Echo Chamber. I'm your host, DJ Mo Money. So glad to be here. It's been too long. It's been too long since I had a mic sitting in front of me, so I'm glad to be back. Today, for this first episode, I have been cooking and I have been stewing, as one does. Y'all know me. Y'all know that I'm one to stew. So, I think today, we're just going to start off with a little bit of get to know me, I guess. Meet the maker of the Echo Chamber, I suppose. For those of you who don't know me, why the heck are you here? Just kidding. I love you. If you don't know me, you're great. Whatever. It's chill. Anyways, I'm DJ Mo Money, more formally known as Mo or Monet. I don't care what you call me as long as it's not offensive. I like long walks on the beach, and no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just like to have a good time, you know? Okay, bear with me, okay? Bear with me. I'm nervous because I'm used to doing live shows because for those of you who know, I've been with the radio station KWCR for like a semester, and I used to have a live talk show with my co-host DJ McSizzle. That was a lot of fun, you know. It was nice. It was nice doing it live because if you weren't listening to it at that specific point, then it's just gone in history, you know? Like, I couldn't be quoted because it was all live, and if you didn't remember it, then that sucks. It didn't happen. But now you guys can re-listen, and now I'm scared because, like, I don't know. I'm just worried that y'all are gonna quote me, and, like, I don't know. It'll be good. It'll be fine. And because now you guys can listen to it whenever, wherever, before bed, in the morning, on your way to work. So, it's a good time. Let's see. I mean, one thing I do want to start off with, I'll just give you guys a little bit of an outline, okay, for the semester, what I'm planning to do. For right now, the podcast is just going to be me, you know, that's why it's called the Echo Chamber. Hopefully in the future, I'll have some guests, but right now, I got one mic in this little podcast room, and just me and the mic, and me and my computer. So, but in the future, you know, once we get a few more mics, maybe I could cram some people in here, and do a guest show, and it'll be fun. But yeah, for now, you're stuck with me. I'm also thinking, I'm just gonna talk about whatever I'm feeling that week. If there's something that's heavy on my mind, I'm just gonna yap about whatevs. And if you guys have suggestions, feel free to let me know. Feel free to tell me if there's something you want me to talk about. The only thing that I probably won't talk about is politics because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that on here. There's enough of that on the internet. I'm not saying that you should hide away from politics, but like, I'm just not looking to do that on here. I'm just trying to talk about puppies and rainbows. Not today's episode though, actually. You'll see. And one more thing, I want to do a little segment on every episode where I talk about like an album of the week or a CD of the week. This week's CD is definitely going to be Mastery of the Steel by Witch's Hat. Oh man. If you are a member of KWCR Radio or have listened to my past talk show, House of Cards, then you would know. You would know how much of a die-hard fan I am of Witch's Hat. Me and Witch's Hat, we go way back to like earlier this year. But like this band, I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm pretty sure Witch's Hat only has 60 monthly listeners on Spotify. 60 as in 60. Tell me that's not insane, dude. And if you listen to this, hang on. Let me find it. Let me look it up. Witch's Hat artist. 60. Yep. 60 monthly listeners. They deserve so much more than that. If you guys have ever seen the movie A Knight's Tale, starring Heath Ledger, rest in power, you know how there's just like a ton of medieval electric guitar in that movie? Witch's Hat fits right in, dude. If you love yourself some medieval rock, Witch's Hat is going to be your best friend, okay? I'm putting you on. My suggestion, listen to Huzzah, listen to Dance Machine, listen to Popsicles. That's spelled popsicles, but it's pronounced Popsicles. Heat, amazing album. Beautiful, delectable, delicious. How many other words can I describe this album? Please, 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 please give it a listen. Let me know, because they're too good to be gatekept. You know what I mean? But today's topic is something that's been on the forefront of my mind for a few weeks, at least. That topic being overconsumption. This is obviously a major problem. If you're someone who exists in 2025, you're definitely aware of the problems that come with this. And it's something that affects all of us, because how does it start? How does overconsumption start? It starts with big companies, ads, micro trends, all these things that are obviously just for money. I mean, think about it. Every single day, we are constantly bombarded by ads. Ads are everywhere. They're on billboards. They're all over social media. You can't even freaking watch YouTube now without having 4 ads. You have to pay extra on streaming services to not have ads. It's on Hulu. It's on Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. All of the above. It's completely unavoidable. And it's so overwhelming, because not only are we constantly bombarded by ads, they're also changing practically every day with these quote-unquote micro trends that are taking over everything. These micro trends, they're changing so quickly, and they're completely made up to make us insecure. These companies, by making these trends, they're just profiting off people's inherent need to fit in and to be like other people. And it's honestly tragic. And all they care about is money. Money, 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 like Mr. Krabs and Mr. Potato Head. They just want us to buy as much as we possibly can, as if these companies aren't richer than they ever need to be. They have enough money for the next 35 generations, and they want more. They need more, or so they think. You guys are definitely aware of one of the current microtrends, which is the Labubu. I don't know about you guys, I freaking hate the Labubu. If you have one and you like it and you think it's cute, all power to you. Okay? Like, if it's something that you actually care about, yeah, if you own a micro trend and it's something that you like and something that you have because you want to have it, go crazy, go ham, all power to you. But if you're purchasing these things and owning all these things simply just because it's what's in style, it's what's trending, dude, you can be your own person, bro. Do what you want to do, queen. Go crazy. Another one, dude, Stanley cups. Oh my gosh. Stanley, there's always like a new water bottle every few years that just like everyone thinks they need to have. The whole point of having a reusable cup is that it's reusable. If you buy 29 reusable cups, that defeats the whole purpose of having a reusable cup. And it's so sad, because you can tell that these random microtrends, they're taking over Gen Alpha too. Like, even, our kids, they're all affected by it. Everyone's affected by it. These third graders in elementary school are being affected by these big companies and their stupid ploys to get people to buy things. And once people buy all these things, right? What now? You've seen, there's tons and tons of videos on, TikTok of ginormous Amazon hauls and unboxings and Amazon favorites, try-on hauls, Halloween costume try-on stuff, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, these people that are just buying so much clothing, or so many products in general, and it's just for content. And it's what do you do with all these things, you know? Because like or these famous people that, or these TikTokers and stuff that get PR packages when they, or these makeup YouTubers that get these PR packages when they already have so much makeup, and then these companies are giving them more so that they can promote their product, and then these people are just wasting all this makeup. What do they do with all of it? You know, like it's so unfortunate, because there's just everything is being shoved down our throats to try and get us to buy as much as possible. And these things, like we see these TikTokers or these famous people using these products, and then we feel bad because we don't have that product. You know what I mean? And this affects so many people, and that's how trends start, because everyone thinks that they need to be modern or current or on trends, things like that. The reason that these people are able to just get so much stuff, purchase so much stuff, is because of the convenience. If you're an avid Amazon shopper, you're aware of the fact that on the screen there's the add to cart button, and then right underneath it is the buy now button. And that button is literally one click. There's no other screens. There's nothing that says, hey, are you sure you want to purchase this? Do you have a gift card? Do you want to do this? It just says boop, and it connects to your card, and it immediately purchases the item. That convenience is an absolute nightmare for anyone impulsive, especially if, you know, your frontal lobe isn't fully developed, or you have a specific, you know, personality disorder that affects impulsivity. You're cooked. Because, like, when something is so readily available at your fingertips, of course you're going to use it. It's sitting right there. Why not? And it's offensive that they're constantly taking advantage of us, the average consumer. It's unavoidable. We can't do much about it, because obviously we're not the CEOs of these big time companies, so we can't decide what they do with their money. So we have to just sit and be okay with it? No. There was something I watched recently. It's a documentary called Buy Now, buy as in purchase, and it's on Netflix, and it goes heavily in depth on all the topics, all the things that I'm talking about. And it was very insightful, and also kind of heart-wrenching, if I'm being honest, because it talks a lot about how these big corporations are using a lot of their money to hide these things from us, to make sure that we don't know what happens with their products that we're using. Because these companies, once their product goes out of their hands and it's in the hands of the consumer, it's no longer their problem. They think, there's nothing I can do about it now. They have to deal with that, essentially. And that is not fair, because if they're not concerned about anything that happens to their products, we don't even always necessarily know what to do with their products, because we didn't freaking make them. So, like, we're not even 100% sure what goes into making these things. So we don't know how to decompose them. And basically, and honestly, everything is plastic. Everything is always plastic. Our iPhones, our cars, let's see, think about it. Think about anything that you know. It's involved in plastic in some way. Everything is packaged in plastic. Like, even our food is packaged in plastic. And plastic stays on the earth for ages and ages. It's only a matter of time before we genuinely become WALL-E, the movie WALL-E. We're getting close, if I'm being honest. These companies, a lot of times, especially like Versace or Coach, you know, like these designer brands, there's this girl, the documentary talked about this. There's this girl on the internet, and her whole page, she's kind of just like a dumpster diver, essentially. And she goes to the dumpsters of these places, like Versace and Coach, and she looks through the trash bags, and some of their bags are slashed and destroyed, and there's paint thrown on them, and essentially these companies force their employees to ruin their products and make them unusable so that people can't take them from the dumpster and use them. It's insanity, and they don't care at all, because they don't want a homeless person on the side of the road to be carrying a Coach bag for free. And so they do these things so that people can't take them and have their products for free. It's rancid. Even restaurants are also doing this as well, of course. They're wasting so much food. Like Krispy Kreme, their donuts are baked fresh every day, as everyone knows. That's their whole shtick, is that their donuts are made fresh every day. So that means at the end of the day, all the donuts that weren't sold, which is basically most of them. If you've ever been to a Krispy Kreme, y'all know they don't sell squat. Sorry to call out Krispy Kreme, but like, they're throwing away pounds and pounds and pounds of donuts every day. And think about it, like, across the country, how many Krispy Kremes are there? How many perfectly usable donuts are there? Or usable food in regular restaurants too, that they just throw away, and the company doesn't want to give to people in need because it's too hard, or it costs more money to dispose of things properly than to just dump it. That leads me to my next topic. In this documentary, by now, not by now, it showed there is hundreds of millions of pieces of clothing on the beaches of Ghana. And it's all name brand companies too, like Gap, H&M, Zara. A lot of their clothing is somehow ending up in the beaches of other countries. And one of the statistics that they shared in this documentary was that there are 30 million people in Ghana at the time of them recording this, obviously. And there are 15 million pieces of clothing per week that get dumped on the beaches of Ghana. That means every person in Ghana would have to be near the beaches and pick up 2 pieces a week. 15 million items of clothing a week for a whole year, 52 weeks. You do the math. It's insane. Another thing that they showed, I can't remember his name, but this guy had, an old LCD screen that he was planning to get rid of, and he was going to take it to a recycling facility, and he put an AirTag in the LCD screen. He soldered it into there so that he could find out what was actually happening to this LCD screen. And he tracked it, and over the course of, I think, a few weeks, he was tracking it, and it made it across country borders, multiple different country borders, and it ended up in, I believe it was Thailand, at a random little place in Thailand, which is, they also talked about this, that's illegal to have all these things cross country borders, but, if you're a person in a different country and you get handed a $100 bill, suddenly rules don't matter anymore. And he went to the place that this AirTag had been kept, and it was just kind of like a junkyard full of technology, like full of TVs, laptops, just old tech, and it was just full of it. It was just like an area, a fenced off area full of crap. And this was after he had already taken this item to a recycling facility, and it ended up in a random country in a junkyard, and now it's probably just gonna sit there for the rest of eternity. It's horrible. And the same guy, he was talking about how these things, when they sit there, obviously doesn't biodegrade, but it also doesn't just exactly sit there. These microplastics that come from all these items, they get into the air, they get into the earth, they get into the oceans, and all these teeny tiny little microscopic plastics that we don't see, they get everywhere. And suddenly everything is plastic. Like I said earlier, everything is plastic. And it comes to a point when it's not just items, it's not just waste, it's hazardous. because it's affecting us, and it gets into our lungs, and it gets into our bodies. It affects us long term. I wouldn't be surprised if in 20, 30, 50 years' time, people our age are suddenly dying from mysterious causes, those causes being microplastics. Let's see. I have a few more things in my little notes. Another thing that these companies are doing, I know I keep saying this, but another thing that this documentary shined light on was the fact that companies are making their items more difficult to be repaired so that you have to throw them away and buy new ones. One of these is Apple AirPods. I'm sure you guys are aware of how much the Apple company sucks, because you guys know that they put bugs in our phones so that we're more likely to buy a new one, and they do the same thing with all of their products, one of them being AirPods. AirPods have this specific kind of glue on them so that it's harder to take apart, much, much harder to take apart and to repair. One of the companies, iFixit, who does a lot of iPhone fixing and things like that, they've gotten multiple lawsuits from Apple because they've been fixing their products, and they don't like that. They want us to buy more. They want us to buy as much as we freaking can. It's very apparent how concerned these companies are with trying to get us to buy more things. There was again, blah, blah, blah. There was another thing. This documentary said that there was a guy who found a way to make light bulbs that would last. I'm pretty sure it was, I can't, don't quote me on this. I can't remember the exact statistic, but he made light bulbs that could last multiple years, but he made it so that the light bulb would last like a quarter of that, so that people would have to keep buying them when they run out of watts or whatever. Not even just like light bulbs or iPhones. There's just so many things that we use on a daily basis that don't need to be disposable. That could, because we're in the Great 25, right? There's no way that people haven't been able to come up with batteries that can last 6 years. You know what I mean? We're in this quote-unquote great age of technology, and we don't have toasters that can last 10 years. You know what I mean? Think about how many times do people replace their toasters? It's a ploy. It's a ploy. Like anything car related too. You have to replace it all the time. You need to get your oil changed. You need to get your car battery changed. You need more blinker fluid. No, I'm just kidding. You need windshield wiper fluid. You need all this stuff. Do you really though? I also don't know anything about cars, so like take that with a grain of salt. But like, do we really need so many of these disposable things when I know dang well someone is able to make it reusable? Someone is able to make it last longer. But then, all of a sudden, a guy who finds out how to make a car that runs on water disappears. I wonder how that happens. I know that this kind of stuff, it can be pretty disheartening, because as just an average Joe, there's not much you can do to change the state of the world. You can't really change capitalism if you're just an average Joe. That would be awesome if you could. Like, if there was a genie and I had 3 wishes, I would probably get rid of capitalism. But yeah, it's very easy to get discouraged. And that's why when I was researching this topic, I was also very interested in looking for ways that I can do better as said average Joe. But I was thinking of ways to make a difference. Main thing, number one, most foolproof method, to waste less, you have to buy less. The less you buy, the less you waste, and everyone's happy. So what I like to do, personally, it's been a really long time since I actually bought a full price piece of clothing at a store. I don't steal, guys. I don't steal. I thrift practically everything I own. I don't really go to the mall that often. Maybe just because I work there and I hate it now. But like, if there's something that I really, really want, it doesn't take, I'm not wanting it for 24 hours and then I just buy it. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something expensive. Like, for example, my camera that I just purchased about a couple months ago, I was thinking about it for like ages, and I was looking on eBay. I was looking at ones I wanted. I was looking at deals. You know what I'm saying? I love a good deal. And so that compared to, going on Amazon, buying a camera, buying another one, buying 3 lenses on Amazon easily, spending all this money so easily, it's a lot different. Because if there's something that you're thinking about for, let's say, at least 1 week, then I'd say sounds to me like you actually want it. But if it's something that you see in the store and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I wanted this until I saw it, I don't think you wanted it. But if it's, and the same thing, like I was saying earlier, if you actually like something, go for it. If you actually want it, do it. Like, don't fall for these trends, because, again, trends aren't real. They're not real. Big companies made it up so that you would buy things. Consciously think about things that you're interested in and think, do I actually like this, or do I just like it because everyone else does? When you're buying less things, too, you can get super creative, right? If you have an item of clothing and you're like, I don't like this anymore, like, it kind of sucks, it's ugly, or it doesn't fit, you can find a new way to make it usable. Like how people make tote bags out of jeans or jazz up old pants. You can learn to sew, dude. Learning to sew has changed my life, actually. And then you can customize, and it makes it's so fun. And if you're not a creative person, that's totally fine. You could even donate your clothes to, like, somewhere that needs fabric, right? Cut it up or something. Or donate it to a thrift store. Donate it to little kids in Africa that don't have a home. Yeah, just take things you already have and make them new. Another thing to waste less is to try and fix stuff, to repair stuff. Sometimes it costs a lot more than it freaking should, but repairing things does help a lot. Like I said, like iFixit, there's a store right here over in Riverdale. It's called iFixit, and I've gone there a few times when I've had problems with my tech, and they're amazing, and they help so much. Another thing, wasting less, I thrift basically everything I own. I love the hunt. It brings me back to, like the hunter-gatherer homo sapien in me. You know what I mean? I love hunting and gathering. And I love going to yard sales, garage sales, because one man's crap is another man's crap. Oh yeah, and hand-me-downs. If you're a youngest like me, love me a hand-me-down. Another thing, try and use, like, as many reusable things as you can. I know that's, like, a lot of these things, trust, I'm not holding anyone to a high standard over this, because y'all know dang well I waste stuff. Everyone wastes stuff. But the goal of this is just to make you just a little bit more conscious. Because if everyone's just a little bit more conscious and everyone's making a tiny bit of a difference, then, the world will get a little bit better. And that's all that really matters, One thing I like to do, I got my little water bottle, I love my water bottle. I have stickers on it. It makes me want to use my water bottle all the time. Another point, don't fall for the ads, okay? Fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. The voices, they're telling you things that aren't true. Trends are not real. Don't listen to the ads. I'm pretty sure there's ad blockers that you can download on your phone. I don't know if you have to jailbreak it for that, because I have an iPhone, but hey, if you have an Android or something, I'm pretty sure you can do a lot more stuff like that. Another thing, take time to think about purchases, especially if it's like a bigger one, like something that's more than like $100. I would say take at least a week to think about it, because if it's been a week and you still really want it, go for it. Buy things in real life, because the main reason that, like I said, the main reason that people use online shopping so much is because it's like that. 3 seconds, buy something, and it's easy. When you're buying something in real life, it takes way more work, because if there's like a type of shirt that you want, if you're wanting to have yourself a baby doll top, okay, for example, you don't really know what color, but you kind of want one. So what do? You go in your car's out of gas. So you drive to the gas station and you get some gas in your car, and then you drive to the store, you drive to Ross or whatever, and you look around and you can't really find any that you really like, but you really do want this top. And so then you go to another store. You go to TJ Maxx, H&M. I don't like either of those two because some of their products are the ones that are on the beaches in Ghana. Anyways, you go to H&M, you go to TJ Maxx. They still don't have one that you really like. And then you make it to, let's see, what's another stupid store? You go to Hollister. Hollister isn't stupid. If you like Hollister, that's okay. That was a joke. But if you go to Hollister, and then you find a baby doll top that you really like, and then you purchase it, and then you take it home, and then you love it, and you think about it, and it fits just right, and like all this stuff. And so it means more when you put more work into the things that you have. Like, it makes it that much more. The retail therapy of going to 5 stores to look for something and then finding the perfect one, the retail high is so much better than just buying something off of Shein, because it took that much more work, and you got to try it on in person too, or you got a really good deal, and then you can tell your friends about it too. I got a really good deal, guys. And so when you're trying to buy, if there's something you need and you want to buy, or something you want, try your hardest to buy it in real life, or find it in real life, because it makes it that much better, and you're wasting less. You're not, like, use Amazon as like a last resort, because that company sucks. Yeah, as a last resort. And then it'll be way easier to not purchase things impulsively. I think that's about all I have for today's episode, but it was fun. I'm looking forward to doing more. I'm hoping to have weekly episodes. If there's any topics that you're interested in hearing about, don't be shy. Please let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Smash that subscribe button. Leave a like and a comment. Put the fairy emoji in the comments if you're still here. Anyways, love you, bye.